What's going on, everybody? Scott Oden coming at you. We are here. We're outside. It's summertime, almost. We are ready to join the block party. Let's get to it. Hey everybody, Scott Oden coming at you. We're out here at Stony Creek Golf Course. We're going to talk about how you can actually control the golf ball a little bit easier, especially if you're in some windy conditions, or maybe you got a little bit of nerves, or hey, you got a soft green and the ball is spinning a ton. You want to be able to keep the ball under your control. Michael Block showed this at the PGA Championship. Let's talk about what he did, okay? So when we're going to hit a golf shot, we saw Michael Block, obviously a great story, PGA professional, inspired me to start trying to play a little bit better too. And what he did was on the 15th hole on Sunday, he was playing with Rory. He hits a 7-iron from 151 yards. Now, I know based on the ball speeds they were showing on TV, he can hit the ball a lot farther with his 7-iron than that. But he was going to do something that I think a lot of people need to work on, and that is he is flighting his golf ball. He's working on keeping the golf ball under control. So why is that important? Well, a couple of things. When you're hitting into the wind, and the shot is also about 10 feet downhill or so, maybe a little more, but when you're doing those things, it's really important to control the trajectory of your shot. You got to control the trajectory so the ball will go an expected distance. When you hit into the wind, spin is going to get exaggerated, which is going to make the ball rise a ton. So a lot of times people come up short, and so people will hit harder shots. They'll take a club, they swing really hard, and what ends up happening is they just come up short anyway because the spin just keeps going up, the height just keeps going up, and the ball, no matter how hard you hit it, it's just going to keep coming up more and more short than what you think. So for example, if I hit a shot here, I've got my 7-iron here, okay, and I'm going to hit a shot, and let's just take a look at the numbers on my normalish kind of 7-iron here, okay? Okay, hit that one pretty clean. So 5,500 yards, 87 feet in the air, okay? 87 feet in the air. So that's the shot I had. It went 165 yards in the air, okay? And so that's something that, all right, pretty good, like it, but when I'm hitting into the wind, let's say I'm hitting and I need to know that ball is going to travel a certain distance, it's going to be critical that I start knocking some spin off, and I want to minimize how much the wind is going to affect the shot. So I can do what we call flighting an iron. Okay, flighting it meaning controlling the flight that the ball goes. So how are we going to do that? Well, one, we're going to make a swing with a little less speed. So for me, I typically feel like I'm swinging about 80%. I also feel a lot smoother when I go back and through. I feel like there's a lot less acceleration as I go through to hit it. Now you got to be careful, you don't want to decel or anything like that, but I just feel like it's a lot more smooth as I'm going throughout my swing. Now, the other thing that I'll do is I will choke up on the golf club about 1/4 of an inch. What that does, that's going to make the shaft of the club play just a touch stiffer. That's going to help keep the golf ball down. Now, I do find that I sometimes will pull the ball when I do this, so you do have to be careful. Just keep that in mind as you go. Now, from there, I'm not going to try to do anything other than just get a feel for how big of a shot this is going to produce, okay? And my goal is just to try to be very, very sweepy. We'll call it sweepy. The real term would be shallow, but shallow through the hitting area. I don't want to hit down too much because that angle of attack is going to either smother the ball or it's going to create more spin as you go through. So I want to feel like I'm just very, very shallow, or as I call it, sweepy through the hitting area, okay? I won't have a full finish like I do on another shot because I am trying to, again, swing a little bit smoother, a little less acceleration as we go. So let's try to flight one here, and let's see what we get. Pretty good. You can see that kind of had more of that finish where I was finishing through. So I carried that 146 in the air, so I took 20 yards off it, probably similar to what Block did when he hit this shot. 43.75 on the spin. The height was 57 feet total. So that was the max height, taking off about 30 feet of that. And that ball comes out a lot flatter, and it's a lot easier to kind of tell what's going to happen when you go through the wind. So yeah, am I taking a few yards off it? Yeah, but I'm going to know how far it goes. That's the main thing. Now, the other thing I'll use this for is when I'm hitting and it's soft, or hey, there's a huge slope and I'm going to be spinning backwards on that slope and I want to take some spin off, then I'm going to flight and iron. That's actually probably the most common reason you see people use this, okay, especially on tour. So again, let's do a little 80% swing, choke down about a 1/4 inch. Gonna feel very sweepy through the hit. So that one I got a little steeper, okay? You can see a little bit bigger divot. So let's see what happens. You can see the spin rises up, and so does our flight. Stayed down a little bit, but then it just got a little bit out of control because I saw a hit kind of down on that one. So that's what we're trying to avoid. So let's try one more here. Let's go ahead. See if we can keep it not down on it. Let's keep it more sweepy. There we go. That's got to be a little better. There we go. I didn't hit it as hard, but kept that flight way down. That ball only went 34 feet in the air, so we'll do that. So I can mess around with that. I probably took a little bit too much speed off it, but this is a shot you're going to see a ton on tour, and you're going to see it from really good players. Obviously, we saw Michael Block master it to where he flew it right in the hole on a fly, but it's a shot as you go through, you're going to keep the ball more in play. I also like to do this because if you can't hit a shot that's flighted, you probably have something mechanically wrong that you should be working on. If you find, hey, I'm slowing it down and I still can't make good contact, that's something that, hey, you got something going on somewhere that's not allowing that to happen. So I would check that out as well. That's another reason that you want to work on this shot. I have that a lot where people say, hey, I can only hit it when I swing full. Well, that means your athleticism is kicking in somewhere to make it where you're getting the club on the ball. Not something you want to rely on all the time. Okay, so again, choke down a little more of a sweepy swing, and let's see if we can get that ball taking off with a little bit less spin, a little bit flatter, lower ball flight, and something that you're going to be able to control going into the greens. All right, if you have questions about it, please leave a comment down below. Check out our breaking 90 plan for those trying to break 90, and for those trying to really get their game good, check out our yardage card in the description, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.